what to do if the piece I took out I want to save that fall and breaks. Today I'm showing you how to fix it. Here is the piece that I took out and fell on the floor and cracked. And I don't want to replace it and I want to keep it, so how do I fix it? And I found out by accident that the easiest and cheapest way is this super glue. You don't need the expensive one, any cheap one like Amazon, Harbor Freight, Walmart. The cheap one, $1, $2 one, will do the job. When it comes to the super glue, I prefer the liquid form instead of the gel form because the liquid form is easier to get between the crack. You don't need to open up the crack and it may damage if you keep opening it up too big, and use the liquid one. It will be easier to go between the gaps and the cracks. And here you see I'm applying the super glue, the liquid one, along the edge of the crack and just make it soak into the crack. After that, put some pressure and hold the two pieces together, and it takes about maybe 2 to 3 minutes. I was amazed to see how good the super glue hold after it dried. The two pieces were welded together like solid, and you cannot separate. I even knock on it, and it seems like it's totally become one piece. I even can hold the whole board with just that piece, and it won't come off. And here is the example of another piece that broke off in the corner, and I dropped it, and that little piece came off. So I again applied the same glue, and this time it's like doesn't matter how much super glue I put, it doesn't hold at all. What's going on? I kept holding it and putting pressure on it, and it just won't hold, and I don't know why. So I think maybe not enough glue, so I add more glue, and even I put it on both sides, and the whole little piece soak up all the glue. So I kept putting pressure on it, and I feel warm, and there's a chemical reaction between the glue and the sheetrock material. Eventually, after a few minutes, it glued together. Here is another example that another piece that broke off, and I applied the same process. I put glue on both sides, make sure it covers all the areas, and just keep adding a lot of glues. Then I press them together, and even I put some on top between the line, and it looks like the sheetrock powder soak up all the liquid glue, and so I have to add more, and just keep adding more. Eventually, just like the previous one, that it will stay whole, and just keep putting pressure and time for it to hold together, and it will work. Again, after a while, it holds together pretty good, and it stays solid. It won't come off even though I try to separate it. Look, it's pretty solid together. Super glue really works and saves me time and money. Here is another example, and I find this piece has a big gap between two pieces, so I need to fill the gap with something. So what I do is I put some super glue into the gaps. So this time make sure I have enough glue into the gap. Then after that I get some crumbs and powder from the broken sheetrock, and I start filling the gap little by little. I keep adding until it all fill up all the way to the top. Then I make sure that it fill inside, so I got a screw and push those powder into the gap, and just keep doing until it's all fill up, and try to fill up all the empty space in between. Now I add super glue again on the top of the powder and let the chemical reaction take place, and the super glue will harden the powder underneath. One thing I learned, that make sure you put a paper towel or something between the board and the floor, so the super glue when you go through it, it won't ruin your floor. So I just keep adding more and more powder on top of the wet glue and just keep filling it. And the super glue turn all this powder into like cement. Keep repeating the same process until you feel there's enough strength to keep it from breaking. After everything dry, it becomes a piece of solid rock. You can't even break it apart. This is how I fix cracked and broken drywall with super glue. Alright, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button.